The cold steel dug into Jack Harlan's wrists like a bad hangover he couldn't shake. His eyes fluttered open to the dim glow of a kerosene lamp flickering across strange shadows in his own cabin. The bitter tang of chloroform lingered on his tongue. This was his place in the rugged hills of Montana, 1892, but something felt off invaded. Two women sat at his rough-hewn table, picking at his canned beans and jerky like they owned the joint. The younger one had sun-kissed skin and auburn hair cascading over her shoulders, her every movement graceful but tense. Her older sister eyed him with a stare that could curdle milk, hard and unyielding. "You're up," the older one said, her voice laced with accusation. Jack tested the chain solid, the kind he'd bought to secure his stash from thieves just like him. "Who the hell are you?" "Sophia," she replied, though he wouldn't know that until the night unraveled everything. "And we know about the silver, Jack Harlan." What followed would challenge every lesson the frontier had drilled into him about trust, lust, and the razor edge between right and wrong. 3 years of isolation had dulled his edges. 3 years since Emily passed in childbirth, leaving him with ghosts and empty bottles. But in Montana's wilds, letting your guard down meant a quick grave. "Your dad was my partner," Jack said, sitting up as far as the restraints allowed. "Carlos Ramirez. Solid guy." Sophia's voice snapped like a rifle crack. She stood, her frame tall and wiry, curves hinting at Mexican heritage and tough trails. The revolver on her belt looked well used. "Don't say his name like you were friends." Mia, the younger one, hovered behind her sister softer, maybe 20, in a faded dress scarred by dust and hardship. But it hugged her form in ways that stirred forgotten fires in Jack's gut. "He mentioned you," Mia whispered. "Said you pulled him out of mine collapse in Colorado once." "Twice," Jack corrected. "But who's keeping score?" Sophia's slap stung like fire, her hand lingering a second too long on his stubbled cheek. "He tasted blood." "You sold him out," she hissed, trembling. "Took his silver and let him swing for it." Jack spat. "Your old man was skimming from a Silverton Syndicate $40,000 in pure or headed for the mint. I didn't betray him. I tried to pull him back from the brink." "Liar." "Check the bureau, second drawer." Mia glided over, her steps light as a deer. She pulled out a sealed envelope, broke it, and read in a quivering voice. "Marshall Hayes, Carlos Ramirez ain't the thief you're after. He's a pawn for the Blackwood crew, hauling their stolen haul. Arrest him, and you're doing their dirty work. Give him a shot to flip on the real crooks." The letter drifted to the floor. "You never mailed it," Sophia said, her fire dimming. "No," Jack admitted, locking eyes. "Because 2 days later, Carlos came to me with a final score. Said it had set his girls up safe, away from badges and bounties." The cabin fell silent, save for the wind howling outside and the crackle of the hearth. Sophia slumped, looking worn beyond her 26 years. "He died cursing you." Men spout nonsense on their last breath. Mia knelt by Jack, close enough for him to catch the scent of wildflowers and trail sweat. "Where's the silver, Jack?" "Hidden. From everyone, including me on bad days." Sophia leaned in, her blouse shifting to reveal a tiny gold locket glinting in the firelight. "Dad said you had a map to lost Union payroll silver buried in these hills." Jack nearly grinned. Your dad spun tall tales. But her tilted head and piercing eyes sparked something in Hima's spark of kinship, inherited grit, and charm. No Union silver, but something Carlos died guarding. The wind escalated, carrying wolf howls. Mia's hand brushed his arm, electric. "What?" Before he could spill, Sophia's head whipped to the window, hand on her pistol. "Riders! Coming hard!" Hooves thundered over frozen earth, spurs jingling, voices rough with greed. "Marshals," Mia whispered. "Worse," Sophia said, dousing the lamp. "Bounty men." In the black, the door splintered under a boot. The first shot whizzed past Sophia's ear. She yanked Mia behind the sturdy pine table Jack had crafted a decade back thick enough to eat lead. "Harlan," a voice boomed. "Hand over the Ramirez sisters, and we walk away clean." Jack rattled his chains. "Keys in my shirt pocket," he hissed to Mia. She paused, eyes probing his in the gunfire flashes for deceit, for the rot that doomed her father. "Trust me," Jack urged, meaning it deeper than expected. Her fingers delved in, warm against his chest, intimate, urgent. She unlocked him. "Sophia, I'm cutting him loose." "No, they'll slaughter us without help." Chains clattered free. Jack massaged his wrists, snagged the Remington from under the bed, 6 rounds chambered. "How many?" "5, maybe." Sophia was ice cool, a chip off Carlos's block. "They think they've got us pinned." Jack pried a loose wall plank, revealing a tunnel dug in sleepless nights after Emily's death, when madness clawed at him. "Leads to the root cellar, then the stable. If we hit it." Bullets riddled the front. Bounty hunters grew bold. They crawled through dank earth, Mia's body pressing against Jack's in the tight space, her breath quick. Sophia trailed steady, emerging by the barn as sleet pelted down fat flakes to hide or betray tracks. Sophia pointed. "Victor Kane. He's hunted us for months." Jack knew the name, cold-blooded tracker, the sort who'd gut a woman for sport. The West was meant to tame such vermin, but here he was. "He murdered Dad," Mia said, voice steel. "I saw it." Jack eyed her silhouette, lovely as a Mustang, lethal to tame. "Then it's blood for blood." Everything out here was personal, Sophia added, counting bullets. The storm built, wind screaming like banshees. Jack glimpsed the hunters circling the cabin. "They'll torch it soon." An explosion rocked the night dynamite through the window, flames devouring Jack's haven. Heat licked through the sleet. Mia gasped, her hand finding his, fingers lacing tight small, fierce, shaking with fury or dread or more. "Sorry," she murmured. "You're home. Just logs and memories." But his throat tightened. Emily's rocking chair, her quilt, all ash. Sophia's touch on his shoulder was firm, almost tender. "We'll even the score." In the blaze's glow, Jack saw her true fears as a grizzly, radiant as dawn over the Rockies. Eyes promising hell or heaven. "No," he thought. "We'll teach them mercy's price." Kane's shout pierced. "Burn the barn. They ain't far." Jack's grin was feral. "Wrong, pal." He guided them into the gale, toward high ground where a local could vanish armies, let alone 5 fools chasing quick cash. Behind, his past burned. Ahead, a path etched in fire and want, in the gray zone of law and vengeance, where souls shattered as easily as bones. The upper plateau had been Jack's refuge since Emily, now his killing ground. Sleet thickened, muffling steps, smearing horizons. Perfect for an ambush. "They'll track us," Sophia warned, breath fogging. "Bank on it," Jack said, chambering his rifle. "Mia, recall that old claim shack up the rise?" She nodded, eyes mirroring the storm's pallor. Even bundled, her poise tightened Jack's chest, unrelated to altitude. "When lead flies," he said, "you bolt. No heroics." "No," Mia shot back, unyielding. "We end this as one." Sophia smirked, young for a flash. Dad always said Mia was the mule. Guess from whom? They hunkered behind a toppled spruce trunk, bulletproof. Jack sent her, sister's wings on a raptor. Shared peril bonded them, pulses sinking with thrill and unspoken bonds. Hunters ascended like kings, unchallenged. Victor Kane leading, Duster billowing like doom. 4 shadow-scarred souls with killer hands. "Harlan," Kane bellowed. "Last offer. The girls for your hide." Jack's reply, a slug clipping Kane's brim into the drifts. The clash spanned 12 brutal minutes, flashes, screams, crimson on white. When the dust settled, 3 lay eternal. 1 dragged a bloody wake to timber. Kane stood, arm mangled by Sophia's dead-eye shot. Over Kane, Jack called. Limpy out. Kane's laugh grated like gravel. Kid, this is Prelude. Warrants on these spick bitches from border to coast. Every badge, every gun-endless hunt. Maybe, Jack stepped out, but they won't run solo. Kane's face twisted inside, or terror. Dying for 2 border tramps? The slur cut deep. Sophia inhaled sharply, but Mia surged, her derringer whipping out as gracefully as death. Her shot drilled Kane's chest, felling him to the ice. My name's Mia Ramirez, she said softly. Etch it. Kane gurgled blood, then silence claimed him. Plateau hushed, but for the wind in evergreens. Jack beheld Mia not the scared kid who'd bound him, but a force who'd slain for kin's dignity. Stunning, awful, flawless as a blade's edge. Ain't done. Sophia reloaded, hands rock steady. More coming. Let 'em, Jack said, eyes on Mia's gaze of vows and futures. A man's weary of solitude. They interred the fallen in shallow pits, thaw-bound revelations not holy, but earth's truth for false men. Descending to ruins, Mia's hand slipped into Jack's instinctual, vital as air. The silver, Sophia asked. Plans. Jack pondered Emily. Oaths shattered and mended, dreams deferred. Build better, something lasting. And us. Mia's voice was tiny in the vastness. He faced them. Sophia flame fierce, Mia's spring soft duo mending his void. Stay. No query. Spring thawed Montana early, exposing scars and seeds. They rebuilt the cabin trio strong, logs from straight pines. Sophia swung the axe like a pro, Mia sealed cracks deft. Jack laid foundations, hands steady beyond sorrow. The Silver Carlos's, Jack's, tainted funded grandeur, a clinic in booming Billings, treating all sans judgment on past or hue. Dad'd approve. Mia said one dusk on their wide porch, in a fresh green dress he'd fetched from town. Its sway still unsteadied him. Sophia, oiling her revolver in lantern light, pragmatic. He'd want us content. You? Jack asked. Mia's reply, her fingers weaving his, easy as dawn rituals. Sophia's, a nod sealing her blessing for Mia's choice. They'd switched names. Jack Harlan became Jacob Ramirez. If law probed, the governor's seal greased by silver silenced it. Nights, when wolves chorused, Jack recalled Kane's taunts of endless chases. But Mia's stir in bed, Sophia's kitchen chuckle, reminded, redemption built atop ruins, not erasure. The frontier tamed, grew mild. But love kin rebirth? Wild forever. What do you think about this tale? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Jack make the right call teaming up with the sisters? Whose side are you on in the heat of that showdown? Share your stance and let's debate.